Hello and welcome to week 3 for our administration class here. I hope everybody's been safe and healthy and wearing your mask and all that. Today we went through accreditation and that process there, and we're gonna see how the police officer out in the street how they're going to react to those certain things. But today's module is going to be about becoming a police officer. I know a lot of you are planning on becoming a police officer. Some of you may be interested in other fields, and this is what we're going to go an overview of just how the job works, both on the state and federal level. We're going to review certain systems that go when a person's hired as a police officer. One of the things that's happening now, we can see with just what happened with the incident down in Washington, D.C. at the Capitol building. There were some police officers involved there that probably shouldn't have done what they did. There's now a movement that looking into police officers' backgrounds and all that. And one of the things that happens when you're going to hire a police officer, it's one of the biggest investments you're going to make as an administrator and a person that's in charge of running the department. And the biggest thing is the background check on people, and we'll talk about that as we go along here. But it's just my views here is that oftentimes now with the mood for defunding police and looking at police tactics and looking at bad police officers and how bad police officers keep their job and are retained, all those types of things there. The police now is that they really have a duty to the public to have an openness, transparency, integrity, ethics, all those types of things that we look at in a good police officer. And one of the things that when you're an administrator is that the best way to avoid having a police officer that's not going to do his or her job is you don't hire them in the first place. And that all comes with background checks. And we'll talk about that. One thing with the background check is a lengthy application in that type of application process. Just as an example here from the town of Amesbury, the city of Amesbury, is you can see here the application for employment, and there's all types of forms that you have to fill out and be very, very detailed. One thing that happens with that is the fact that it is a really position of integrity, and you have all kinds of documentation. This is a basic application that the most of the police departments will use. You'll see here that it's 29 pages long. And one of the things that's called an integrity application is that you're going to fill out all this type of information. You're going to read, about fair hiring practices and all those types of things that go on there. You're going to have personal history. You're going to look at every place that you've lived in the past 15 years, your status as far as owning a home, as you know, if you're looking for looking at employment, past employment, looking at having, one of the big things, you have to have a valid driver's license, and looking for your past experiences. That goes on there, really goes into your education, any types of awards that you've had with there, your language capabilities, particularly if you can speak another language. That is oftentimes a big selling point for some departments. Any types of abilities that you have, looking at your driving record and fines and all those types of things that go on with that, your employment history, every single person that you've worked for. You're going to be there, and one of the things is that, are you eligible for rehire if you get that? Would your people take you back to your job? Real things about the military people and police departments get some advantages for their services to the country. You're going to have references that are not relatives, all that. And one of the things there, when I talk about references, is the fact that a good police background person that's trained is that they're going to take your references and they're going to go see those people. But what we always do is we do what's called a secondary reference, and that's when you put people down. Obviously, that's going to give a reference for you, hopefully, and they're going to say something good about you. But what we're going to do is that we're going to ask that person the name of another person that knows you, and we're going to ask about that person, who they are, and try and contact that person as a secondary reference. So there's a follow-up, and this is one thing that's very time-consuming. We trained when I at Danvers Police. We trained our background investigators, and they spent approximately 40 hours minimum of background checks on people. They really deal in your family history on doing that, of all different relatives and stuff like that. They'll do with your neighbors. They'll look at your marital status. They'll look at what anybody else that's living in your house. Look at for criminal record. And one thing people says, oftentimes people who wanted to become a police officer, they come up and ask me, well, I got arrested, I did this, I did that. It can be overlooked in certain situations. Sometimes everybody has a mistake, particularly juveniles. It's not going to, unless it's a felony, obviously, it's not going to totally eliminate you from the job in looking at those types of things. We're going to get into the fact about drugs and drug testing. They're looking for any type of situation there. And one real big thing is domestic violence. If you have had an abuse prevention order taken out against you and it's a valid order, it's very hard right now to get a job as a police officer. I can tell you that. That's very, very low. Police don't want to take any chances on somebody there. Also, if you've been in any civil, if you've been sued, what types of licenses that you have. And they'll look at, you're going to have a credit check done. You're going to get authorization for that. You're going to look at drug screening. You're going to look at a release for any types of different files and documents and everything. You're going to do that. And one thing that happens is that with this integrity interview is that, you're going to, once you fill out that that application, most departments are going to require that you have that application notarized by a notary public. What that means is that you're going to have to go to a person that's a Massachusetts notary, and you're going to sign your name in that person's presence, and they're going to verify that that's your signature, so that when you go to pass that application in, is that it's a almost a legal document. And so if you make any false information on that, is that it's going to be very difficult for you to get that job. That's why you have to be very honest with that. Is that oftentimes when you go in to pass in your application, it's a special meeting with the people that are in charge of the hiring for that department. They're going to take the application, put it down, and they're going to get up, like if they get a phone call, they're going to leave you in the room, and they're going to say, before I come back, if you want to look over that application again, if you want to make any changes, make those changes now and initial them, and then you will hand it in to me. They give you a chance to fix anything on that. And so those are some of the things that happen with that type of situation. There's also a policy and procedure for doing that, and I've attached a policy for a selection thing that comes from accreditation. This is where we go into the accreditation policies and procedures, and you'll see here recruitment and selection of personnel, and it really outlines all the different things that the department has to do as far as taking an application, how you're selected, who's going to interview you, the types of things that are going to happen. So you take and read that particular section and become familiar with that. We're also going to look at some information that comes from civil service. We have two different things with civil service. In Massachusetts, they're just getting ready to make an announcement in civil service regarding the exams that are coming up now is that there are certain police departments that are civil service, and looking at some of these, there are departments that have no upper age limit. There are ones that limit the age at 31. There are certain types of things there. There's a number of departments now that are getting out of civil service, and say, why are they getting out of civil service? They're doing that because of the fact that they want to be able to hire people, particularly when you want to do minority hiring and you want to hire more females. That gives the department a lot more leeway in doing the department. You can see area departments like here, like North Reading and Reading and Rockport, Concord, down the Cape, Yarmouth, all those people down there are all non-civil service. The other thing that happens with non-civil service departments is that here on the North Shore, the civil service departments are usually the bigger departments, Danvers, Peabody, Salem, Beverly, Marblehead, Swampscott, all those places there. But you go to the smaller communities like Middleton, Topsfield, Boxford, Newbury, and all different places like that. They're non-civil service, so there's a whole process of going through there. The other thing is that you're going to have to go to an academy, and when we start looking at the academies, I'm going to have information on the page regarding the Mass Municipal Police Academy and what a person that goes through for the academy. You're also going to see what the federal people require on that, and then you're going to look at some recruit videos, and one of your choices is to look at those videos, the recruit videos. They're short, they're 3-4 minute videos, and kind of gives the whole environment of that department. And you're going to take a look at those and see, what one kind of impresses you the most in doing those types of things there. So I would like to make sure that we understand all the whole process that goes through to hiring a police officer, because the investment and the trust that you're going to have from your community and how you're going to do that really depends upon, it all starts at the basic level when you get hired, and the process that you have to go through in order to get that job. And there's with civil service, there's also the fact that they will be announcing an exam shortly. There was just a notice that came out in the beginning of this month that there's going to be an exam coming up for police officers that are civil service, and also for the state police and MBTA police, and that will be coming out pretty soon. So I hope you're going to enjoy this and to get the understanding, those of you that are looking for the police job, to look at how things go, and particularly with this police reform, which we'll be doing later in this class, going all the different requirements. One of the things that's happened as far as the training is the Municipal Police Training Committee under the new Police Reform Act is going to be in charge of the training of the police department and setting the standards. We're going to really go into the fact, particularly with use of force, and that's going to be another class that we're going to be doing. But in this particular one here, just take a look at it. I think you'll get a better understanding as to how a person becomes a police officer. If you have any questions, again, I'm available at all times. Anytime that you have a question. Again, in policing, there's absolutely no such thing as a dumb question. And if you have that question's in your mind, I'm here to help and get you to answer that. So I really look forward to seeing your replies. And again, please stay safe and healthy and keep those masks on, and have a good day. We'll take care.